Hi everyone, today we are going to introduce gender equality. There are two articles in our presentation, and let me start the first one. The title of the article I'm going to talk about is called In Their Words, How Children Are Affected by Gender Issues. By, account, by accounts of hypothetical questions, we can know opinions of the world's 9 years old about how gender shapes destiny. First of all, gender inequality is a serious problem in India. While it doesn't seem to be a big issue in China and Brazil, for Sunny Bob in India, the worst thing about being a boy is that he has been encouraged to sexually harass women in public. However, for E.K. Wang and Julia Marius in China and Brazil, the best thing about being a girl is that girls have better characteristics and more privilege than boys. The United Nations uh, the United Nations Child Fund, Claudia Kappa, conclude that recent decades have seen more gender equity in areas such as primary school education access. But after passing age 10, things changed completely with striking gender gaps in secondary school because children will start to be seen as a female or a male, not kids anymore. Before reading this essay, we didn't notice that the age 10 mark is an important shift. In Taiwan, fortunately, there is less gender inequality in our society. We can pursue our expectation of future liberty, but in the region have wide gap between men and women can't. Through this article, we know that we can be satisfied with certain situation. The way to improve gender equity does not only rely on the outward restriction, like the law which asks for equal salary for each gender, or need to hire specific number of female, but also respect different gender from the bottom of our hearts and admit the discrepancy of each other. Only when we extend the above mentioned concept to the whole world will it be truly improve gender equity.
In early childhood, gender disparities start out small. Girls have higher survival rates at birth, are more likely to be developmentally on track, and are just as likely to participate in preschool. Among those who reach secondary school, girls tend to outperform boys in reading across every country where data are available. But the onset of adolescence can bring significant barriers to girls' well-being. Gender norms and discrimination heighten their risk of unwanted pregnancy, HIV and AIDS, and malnutrition, especially in emergency settings and in places where menstruation remains taboo. Girls are cut off from the information and supplies they need to stay healthy and safe. From this chart, we can see that Iceland, Norway, and Sweden are considered to be closest to what the WEF would consider full gender parity, while Yemen, Iraq, and Pakistan are said to be the furthest away. The United States isn't close to the top of the ranking either though, ranked only 53rd based on the following metrics: economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, political empowerment. From this chart, we can see that South Korea has the most work to do in order to close the wage gap. OECD data shows that in 2017, a male worker in South Korea would outearn his female counterpart by 34.6%. The problem is also highly evident in other Asian countries, especially Japan. In 2017, the wage gap between the sexes was 24.5%, even though things are slightly better in North America. Both the US and Canada still have a wage gap of just over 18%. Although Greece attracted all the run headlines for its economic woes, it actually has one of the least pronounced gender wage gaps in the OECD at 4.5%. This interactive bar chart from The Guardian shows country by country breakdowns of abortion rights, including where the procedure is permitted and under which specific circumstances. Almost all abortion related deaths occur in developing countries, with the highest number concentrated in Africa. Recent studies estimate that 8 to 18% of maternal deaths worldwide are due to unsafe abortion, and the number of abortion related deaths in 2014 ranged from 22,500 to 44,000. The fact is, there are still 6 countries in the world that do not permit abortion under any circumstances.
Next, I'm going to talk about the problem women face in agriculture. The, the biggest roadblock is land rights. If a female farmer doesn't have power to make decisions about the land she works, it is impossible for her to have high earnings and reliable source of income. It shows that persistent gender bias makes it easier to have men to handle business transactions and control women's activity. On average, women-run farms produce 20 to 30% less than farms run by men. Inherent gender bias in the economic system limits a woman's access to credit, prevent women from borrowing money. Without adequate funds, they can do capital investment in agriculture or buy advanced farming tools and techniques that increase crop yield. And earning extra income would enable women to spend more money on investments that could produce long-term positive results for farm families and their neighbors. Today's global efforts have gradually raised the status of women in agriculture. For example, in Western Uganda, Foundation is teaming up with the Global Humanitarian Organization, improve female farmers' knowledge and equip technical support to grow high-demand crops with using sustainable agricultural methods. There also has a global campaign designed to promote awareness of women in agriculture and offer them a platform to share their own stories in their own words. In fact, the concept is improving, and gender barriers may be gradually eliminated in other places. There are also many people who are committed to eliminating barriers and raising women at the same level as men in different industries.
There's facts about gender equality you need to know now. First, every day 800 women die from preventable complications during pregnancy or childbirth. Although the rate of maternal mortality globally has nearly halved, approximately 800 women each day die from largely preventable complications during pregnancy and childbirth. Second, women spend up to 5 more hours on unpaid domestic work than men each day. Data from 1976 to 2009 show that among American 12th graders, girls earn higher grades than boys on average. Yet in the US, women on average earn only 78 cents for every man's dollar. Women spend significantly more time than men each day on unpaid domestic work, such as household tasks and taking care of children, sick family members, and aged parents. As a result, they more frequently risk their jobs or work at a reduced level and salary to provide care at home. Third, 1 in 4 girls around the world was married before her 80th birthday. Between 2011 and 2020, an estimated 140 million girls were married before the age of 18. Of those, 50 million, or over 30,000 each day, will be under the age of 50. Fourth, women earn the majority of bachelor's degrees, but only a fraction of computer science degrees. Although testing data show that girls and boys in the United States and around the world perform at comparable levels in math and science, female students are much less likely to graduate from college with a STEM degree than their male counterparts. Fifth, 200 million fewer women than men have access to the internet worldwide. With increased access to technology, women can advance their economic participation, digital citizenship, access to jobs and healthcare, and more. When women in the developing world got online, 30% used the connection to an additional income, 45% used it to search for jobs, and 80% used it to improve their education. Sixth, women in most countries face legal barriers that restrict their economic opportunity. 128 out of 143 countries have at least one legal difference between men and women restricting women's economic opportunities, including restrictions on opening bank accounts. Seventh, the U.S. is one of 9 countries worldwide that doesn't provide for paid maternity leave. 8. 1 in 3 women has experienced physical or sexual violence worldwide. In some countries, wife beating can be considered culturally acceptable, even among women. While perceptions have improved in the last decade, cultural acceptance of wife beating is still pervasive among women and men of all ages. Particularly in every part in South Asia, roughly half of women between ages 15 to 49 believe spousal abuse is justified when women refuse sex, prefer argue, or leave home without notice. Although gender gaps have narrowed in recent decades, inequalities persist and challenges remain in several critical areas. Thus, governments and every individual should strive to pursue gender equality. This is the end of our presentation. Thanks for listening.